Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about a couple major, very bad topics that have been trending downward in 2020. Specifically, we're about to talk about the NFL, or the National Football League, who's been getting increasingly woke this year. They're virtue signaling all over the place, saying they're going to give teams extra bonus points if they hire certain coaches of certain races. They've done lots of other woke BLM related stuff too. This is, of course, the sports organization that originated the kneeling for the national anthem a few years back. And that's funny to bring up now because we're actually also going to be talking about the original kneeler, Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick used to be a football player many years back, but he, of course, has been a free agent for a while now, mostly because he's not that good at sports, and he also just seems like he doesn't actually want to play. He sabotages his own career in many ways, including getting woke and political and very controversial, also missing practices and scheduled meetups with teams and purposely sabotaging his own hopes. So the fact that he's not playing is very much his own fault and the fault of his failing abilities and sports acumen. But what we're going to talk about now is an interesting turn for that, because despite Kaepernick not playing professional NFL football for many years, he's being put into a football game. That's right. Madden NFL 21 pulled a curveball move the other day when they decided to add Kaepernick to their new football game. Now, this game is famous for a number of reasons. Specifically, it's been rated as one of the worst games this year. It's really, really bad. Madden has been kind of ruining the NFL football games for a while now. They basically just chalk out a new one each year to cash in on the money and the fad, but they don't really improve it much. They don't really give a lot of features. They even sometimes include in-game commercials. So you're paying full price for a game and then they put commercials in it, which is really odd. And now they appear to be getting woke and they're getting desperate. That's why they're adding this Colin Kaepernick figure. We're going to talk more about it, more about why and how it's silly soon. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. This is a medical grade UV sanitizer light that can automatically clean your smartphone in a full sanitizing process in around 6 minutes. That's right. You can put your phone in this device right here and it'll sanitize your phone. It's a good idea to do this after traveling, after coming home, going around town, going to the store. Nothing gets more hand action than your phone. This is a great option and a great way to help you sanitize that. And in addition, it can also sanitize your jewelry as well. It sanitizes a number of things that get put in this nice little device. And right now, if you order and you check out our special links below this video, you can get the Smart Sanitizer Pro for 50% off. That's right, you can get 50% off just if you check it out today by clicking the links below this video, and it'll include free delivery too. So that's a great deal. Hope you enjoy it. Now, back to the show. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the Colin Kaepernick Madden NFL story. This is a tweet from the official Madden Twitter. It says, "Welcome back, Cap," and you can see a picture of him in his digital form. He's in the game. He's got a place on your roster if you want to draft him or something. I'm not sure how it works in the game, but here's an extended message from the NFL. It says, "Colin Kaepernick is one of the top free agents in football and a starting caliber quarterback. The team at EA Sports, along with millions of Madden NFL fans, want to see him back in our game. We've had a long relationship with Colin through Madden NFL and worked through our past soundtrack mistakes." I wonder what those mistakes are. I feel like Colin Kaepernick complained about some songs or something. "Knowing that our EA Sports experiences are platforms for players to create, we want to make Madden NFL a place that reflects Colin's position and talent, rates him as a starting QB, and empowers our fans to express their hopes for the future of football. We've worked with Colin to make this possible, and we're excited to bring it to all of you today. Starting today on Madden NFL 21, fans could put Colin Kaepernick at the helm of any NFL team in franchise mode, as well as play with him in Play Now. We look forward to seeing Colin on Madden NFL teams everywhere." So this is already pretty biased and not accurate. First of all, Colin Kaepernick is not a starting caliber quarterback. I mean, that's just a fact. If he was, he would be starting on football teams. It doesn't add up. You can't say, this person is a professional pitcher quality thrower and hitter. You can't say this guy can hit more home runs than anyone in the world. But if he was, he'd be on a pro team, and people can see the talent when he's on the team. Kaepernick was not that good. Even when he did play, he had one chance in the playoffs where he got replaced. He was second string quarterback and he got put in because his quarterback got hurt. He failed when he had the chance. And then ever since then, he's been going downhill. And as his career goes downhill, his political activism goes up. That's an interesting kind of correlation. Now, I don't know if correlation implies causality here, but I would say it's definitely very, very, very suspicious. I mean, if he was good at football, he probably would focus more on that and not talk about politics all the time and say everyone's racist and all the time. It's like he wouldn't care. He would just be focusing on the game. He'd be playing, making a lot of money. He'd be winning championships and stuff like that. But the truth is, he can't pull that off. He can't hack it in the NFL. If he could, he would be put on a team. So I don't like the implication here. Madden 21 is kind of implying something like something nefarious is going on. I would assume racism, since that's their go-to. They're trying to say there's something racist here. But that's the other thing people don't remember about Colin all the time. I mean, this guy is half black at the most. Even then, he was raised by an all-white family in a Midwest state. This guy grew up privileged as heck. He had no struggles in his whole life. He went from school, being adopted by this rich white family, to going to college football, to becoming a star. And then he squandered his skills and he didn't cut it, of course. But even then, I mean, he's still a millionaire right now. He's still making lots of money off of like Nike deals and commercials and fundraisers and activist stuff. So he's not struggling. He is not someone we need to pity and give him this like consolation prize by putting him in Madden NFL 21. I think the real story about this is, like we said before, Madden 21 has been getting a lot of flack. They're like one of the most worst rated games ever on a lot of review sites. So they're desperate. They're going for this kind of woke double down, really. They should have walked away from this. They should have tried something totally different. That's what a lot of people are making the mistakes here, like the NFL and their related products. They're trying to double down on this activist stuff when really they should be walking away from it. They should be focusing on the game and the craft. They should be doing other things like taking out politics. Madden should take out the in-game commercials and the microtransactions and, you know, stuff like that is what's really going on. And I'm not buying this whole, oh, Colin Kaepernick could have been a leading star and been in the helm of any team. It's just like, no, you guys are dreaming. You guys are desperate. Just like the NFL is desperate too. The NFL is going to come back sometime soon, I think, but it's not going to be doing well. It hasn't been doing well the last few years because of this activism stuff. And I don't predict it's going to do any better in election year. And that's actually just the first half of this story. The other half is pretty interesting. Here you can see the Bleacher Report chiming in. And apparently there's an interesting move that Colin Kaepernick does when he scores a touchdown, when he does a celebration. He does the power fist, as you can see in this video right here. Let's check out this video and you'll see what we're talking about.
Guys moving the ball. And he will fight his way in, not giving up there, and he's got a Bears touchdown.
So that's pretty much classic Colin Kaepernick. He's trying to be woke in the most inappropriate times. It's like, oh, you just scored a touchdown and the first thing you think of is throwing up this fist. This is an offensive gesture too. Like, I don't know if people realize the implications behind it. This is coming from like back in the day, like civil rights movements. Like the Black Power movement was actually very radical and had a lot of bad things that happened to it. It got a little touch and go there. People were hurt. I mean, it's basically, there were some points they were like domestic terrorists, which is very similar to the way BLM is in the present. It's like they try to hide behind this activist stuff, but it really devolves into just, you know, violence, chaos, taking things down, them attacking other people, like these kinds of race baiting and, you know, supporting of just bad things. And I think, yeah, this Bleacher Report is good to report on this. Like, this is so funny. They put this in a Madden game. Like, this is an interesting salute to say the least. I'm almost afraid to leave it on the screen for too long, but you know, you guys, I'll go back to Colin Kaepernick. This picture of him is pretty funny. This is pretty good. And I think, you know, that pretty much tells the story. This NFL situation this year, pro sports just overall, they're getting super woke, like super, super annoying with the politics. And it sucks because it's like, this is supposed to be our escape. This is supposed to be something we go to when we want some time off from the politics, from the real world. We want to just watch some guys throw a ball around, watch some athletes in their prime, you know, competing in the realm of sports. Like, it shouldn't be an athletic kind of mixed with this whole political thing. They want to put messages in here, but it's just, it's not fair either. Like, it's all woke left-wing messages. Like, can you imagine if one of these characters, one of these actors or football football players too. Like it happens in Hollywood, it happens in sports. If they came out as like pro-Trump or conservative, it wouldn't even fly at all. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't get put in an NFL game. Like, can you imagine if Madden had a character that whatever, like wore a MAGA hat or did some kind of like Trump dance as a victory celebration, you know, like make America great again. Like, can you put that on the back of your jersey? I highly doubt it. I think you can maybe make custom names, but it's not the same kind of thing at all. And it doesn't really mesh well with me. It's not a freedom of speech. It's not about like, oh, letting the players express themselves, which could be cool in a way, but in this way, it's actually just, oh, they have to all be woke left-wing supporting. And if you're not, you're either going to get silenced or kicked out or whatever. You could get punished or suspended. And the other thing, the more I look at this picture, like Colin Kaepernick's hairline's weird. It's like faded weird. His nose is kind of like, I don't know, not straight. I think they're just trying to be accurate, but it just looks weird to me the more I look at it. You guys are probably thinking that too, but I might have already put gameplay on this video by now because I'm rambling at the end here, but I think it's some important stuff to address. The fact that this isn't about like letting the players express themselves and have a voice and have a political opinion on their public platforms. It's like, no, you have to cater to the left wing. Like if you support liberals, you can get away with this, but in any other case, you'll actually be punished. So it kind of shows the hypocrisy of it all. Like they try to act like they're all like, oh, these guys, you know, I always call them out because they got famous for something else. Like they got famous for football or soccer or acting or singing, and then they turn and try to transfer that to something political. But it's like, no, playing football has very little to do with politics and having to know who to vote for in the election and what's racist or not and something like that. You know, this is all high level stuff that should be handled by adults, not these athletes who really have no training or information about this stuff. Like that's another thing. Like who's Colin Kaepernick? Like he's just some mixed dude who was raised by white people, became this NFL star, and then all of a sudden late in his life he like grows an afro and acts like he's black and a civil rights activist. Like it's very, very like misleading and sketchy to me. And it's the same with other big figures. Like I think about LeBron James and I'm like, why is he getting all woke? What does he even know about current events or anything like that? Like this guy, he started playing in the NBA when he was like 17. He never even graduated high school. He never went to college. He never lived like a real life, have an education and experience with the world. It's like, no, dude, he just throws a ball in a circle every day. And yeah, he's good at it. LeBron's good at it. Colin Kaepernick was even good at throwing at one point, but it doesn't like give them authority to tell us who to vote for and how the world should be run. And they can't even identify proper racism. Like they say everything's racist, but it's really not. I mean, they wouldn't be rich people if the world was racist. If America was hating on black people so much, these athletes wouldn't even be in these sports. That about wraps things up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit the like button to get this shared, subscribe if you're new, and hit the bell for notifications too. Until next time, have a great day.